Do you think this game is more about Pittsburgh or Baltimore, though?
I think it's more about the Ravens. I think it's more about us finding out who the Ravens are. They've got the number one rushing attack in football, obviously because of Lamar Jackson, and they've got the second worst passing attack, arguably because of Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson has played in 10 NFL games this year, and he hasn't even thrown for 2,000 yards yet on the season. Ladies and gentlemen, that's less than 200 yards per game. That's not going to cut the mustard. Not in a conference that has Patrick Mahomes and Deshaun Watson and Big Ben Roethlisberger. And if you want to give some props, not even Phillip Rivers with what he's doing in Indy, or Ryan Tannehill in Tennessee, or Josh Allen in Buffalo. Just look at all of these names that come before Lamar Jackson when it comes to throwing the football right now. So you're going to have to find that out. More importantly than that, even though they're the third-ranked defense, all right, they're 16th against the rush, and they got pushed around and beat up by the Tennessee Titans this past weekend. And so in terms of their toughness, when you consider the games that customarily come associated with the Steelers going up against the Ravens, this is usually smash-mouth football, take no prisoners. You know what? You just leave it all out on the field. We ain't backing down from anybody. We're not getting pushed around. We're not going to have an A.J. Brown catch a pass and spin and get pushed into the end zone and bowled over like they did like what happened last week against Tennessee. The Steelers are not going to do that. That's the kind of attitude that the Ravens should have in this game. They should be committed to finding out who they are and what they're made of. It's not about the score in a game like this. It's about playing smash-mouth football, making sure you don't get punked and showing your mettle. The Steelers are undefeated at 10-0. Even if they lost, okay, they would do a game where they lost or something like that. We know their defense is elite. We know that Big Ben Roethlisberger is an MVP candidate. We know that when he goes 5 wide with all of those receivers, with Juju Smith-Schuster and Claypool and James Washington and Deontay Johnson and all of these boys, we know how lethal of an offense they can be with their passing attack. We get all of that about the Pittsburgh Steelers. Who the hell are the Baltimore Ravens? For the first time in damn near 2 decades, we're looking at them and saying, what the hell is their identity? There is no Ray Lewis. There is no Ed Reed. There is no Terrell Suggs. There's nobody like that. Somebody who is going to have to stand the hell up and show who the hell they are and what this organization is supposed to stand for. I'm a Steelers fan, so I'm good with it. But the bottom line is that if you're the Ravens, that's what this is about for you. This is about more than an outcome. This is about more than just a football game. This is you against the Steelers with an opportunity to remind the world who the hell you are traditionally as a franchise. To the Steelers, it's not just another game, but only because it's an AFC North battle. To the Ravens, their season is on the line, along with their mystique, at least at this moment in time.
You just proved my point for me. This is about the Steelers. And the reason is there's an undefeated team heading into Week 12 in a rivalry game. And you think it's about the other team, the 6-4 team. And you're a Steelers fan. And what that really speaks to is people don't believe the Steelers are special. They don't believe it. We're in Week 12, heading into Week 12, and they're undefeated. And people don't believe they're special. And they've beaten the Titans, and they've beaten the Ravens. And people don't believe this in the Steelers. Not really. Not really. They're number one on anyone's power rankings. Not on mine. I got the Chiefs. What about yours, Stephen A? They're number one. We're going to find out. Stephen's A-list coming up a little bit later. No, people don't believe in the Steelers. And yet that's why this game is about them. How special can they be? They're entering a rivalry game, the best one in football at the moment, where since the turn of this century ain't as young as it used to be, right? We're in the 3rd decade of this century already, and they've played each other going into this season 44 times. 44 times. You know what the record is in those 44 games? 22-22. It's as even as it can be. And the Steelers won the first game, which means that in a rivalry game, for the reasons you just pointed out, with all the questions about Lamar Jackson and who are the Ravens, this team that was practically unbeaten last year in Baltimore, but hasn't won a playoff game. Lamar looking like he's regressing, the league adjusting to Lamar Jackson, right? take away the middle of the field and don't let them run to the outside. And he has not been able, and the coaching staff has not been able to adjust. Are the Steelers going to sweep the Ravens? Doesn't feel like they would in a season like this. Feels like the Steelers' first loss, you circle it on the calendar, that second Ravens game. Ravens aren't going to lose twice to this Steelers team. No, this is about the Steelers and a special team having a special season that still no one believes in. This game is more about Pittsburgh.
Well, listen, you can look at it that way. I can understand that. The reason why I don't view it that way, Max, is because to me, the only thing I'm thinking about is the Kansas City Chiefs when it comes to the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't think there's anything else standing in this team's way. I don't think there's anything else that should be standing in their way. The Steelers, to me, are a Kansas City Chiefs victory away from going to the Super Bowl. Plain and simple. Nothing else matters. I don't give a damn if they lose 2 or 3 games the rest of the way. I'm not concerned about anybody but the Kansas City Chiefs when it comes to the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers can beat themselves against other people, but the Kansas City Chiefs is the one team that I believe the Steelers can bring their A game and still lose to that particular team.
Okay.
I don't see anybody else in the AFC doing that to them, which is why I'm not thinking about the Steelers right now. I'm thinking about the Ravens because the Steelers are 10-0. The Ravens, this season's on the line. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.